Channel switched.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night VBA end of winter practice session.
Ready.
Yes.
Burner.
Please.
Check your smoke pressure on. George from saturating norm. My heading is 041. Check your waypoint 1. Check out thermostat 2978 for a center point elevation of 0 feet. Check your bear 10. Check your FCS 15, 30, 30, 41 down. Check your tools and armed. Lights out.
Ready.
Yes.
Burner.
Please.
Check your smoke pressure on. Smoke on. Smoke off.
So we haven't streamed in quite a while. We figured we've done enough winter training.
Right. Go clear.
Ready.
Yes.
Burner.
Please.
Done enough winter training to where we can show the public again what we do. If this is your first time watching the Virtual Blue Angels practice, my name is Burner. I fly the slot position, and we're going to be doing a high show tonight.
Ready.
By popular demand, I've got my VR eye tracker on tonight, so that purple dot, Burner, that purple dot that you see on the screen is where my pupil is pointed. Okay, boss.
Awesome. 74%. Let it roll. Stand with the cover wagons. Ready, split. Cover wagons represent 35 knots.
We have a couple new calls on the radio since the last time we streamed. I think we also have a couple new people. So over on my left is Bits. He's our new left-wing pilot. And Bits is actually flying from a hotel room tonight with some mobile stick and throttle and rudder pedals. He's very dedicated, and if there's any issues with his flying, cut him some slack, because he's on a Wi-Fi flying on a hotel desk tonight.
Easy brakes.
Still in VR, though. So right now we're in the covered wagons. Fast
Easy
taxi.
Brakes. A little more brakes.
Get down to the other end of the runway. Now he's referencing
Coming right, so okay.
both aircraft. Marty in front of me, and Bits over to my left, and I'll let myself get a little ahead.
All right, okay.
But I always give Bits some room to make this 180 turnaround without going too fast. Can tip the jet over. Try to turn that nose wheel too aggressively. Pull into my fingertip position. Wait for Bits to get settled up in his spot. Okay, boss.
Boss. Easy brakes. A little more brakes. Easy brakes. Brakes.
Alright, well, we got a minute before takeoff. I'm just going to look into
Solos. We're clear for takeoff.
weird places to get my inside-out tracking on the headset dialed in.
Wheels turning on. Maneuver. I'm gonna have squirrel cage. Left turn out.
Ready.
Hits.
Burner! Diamond has clears on 9. Let's go!
Let's roll up.
I give Marty the nod, let him know that I'm spooled up and ready. We're trying a new burner call the last couple flights.
Off.
Fast burner engagement.
Now. Burners ready now.
sliding a little wide. Trying to keep good head alignment. Here.
A little drive. And up we go. A little more pull.
If you'll notice, since the last stream, we
Right turn burners ready now.
updated our burner cans. So you can see the
Easing more power.
like
Easy
Marty had a little
power.
trouble with that burner disengagement, and Bits is having a little bit of a time.
Okay.
I'm not doing any better. We'll go smoke off and just clear for the roll. I gotta reconcentrate on what I'm doing here. That's looking better. Once we get right side up, I'll
little
put the smoke back on.
pull. Rolling out.
I was trying to keep an eye on
Adding
both
more
wingmen in my
power.
peripheral vision.
We you.
As the slot
The
pilot,
more
it's
pull.
my responsibility to make sure that I don't run into anybody, even if they might be having a moment and falling out of formation. I still have to keep track of that and make adjustments accordingly. So, little safety there.
5-6.
Easy one for the debrief tonight.
Easing more power. A little pull.
Tonight's stream is going to be a long one. We have a little bit different setup planned for tonight, so we're streaming the practice live from
Easing
my
the
perspective in the slot, and then once we're finished with the flight,
Smoke.
Camel's going to take over the stream
Camel.
for the debrief, and we'll stream the debrief.
Adding power.
So you'll be able to
More
watch the
power.
show
A
from the
little
first person perspective and then watch it from the show center perspective.
Little more.
After that, with us giving our debrief notes on how the flight went. So coming up next, we got the Diamond 360, which is the closest we'll be flying all night.
Rolling out. What about the crowds of the Diamond 360?
Ready.
It's
Burner, take it in.
Easing power. Easing more power.
So as boss takes power off the jet, I just delay my power off a little bit to creep up and in. My goal is to start a little aft of my set point, and then I'll slowly bring
Coming
it forward as
further.
we're crossing in front of show center
Coming
to
further.
it's
try to keep a
comes
perfect
the
optical with the crowd. Perfect fore aft offset as
We're
we're
in 360.
Ready.
it's
burner. Since the crowd's perspective on us
Smoke.
changes
On.
as we're Marty moving a little bit. We're creeping forward just ever so slightly. Okay,
Center
Maybe-
point. Adding power.
beat that
Adding
forward.
more power. Smoke off.
And boss is putting the power in.
Easing the pull. Rolling out.
Ease it out.
What about the crowds of the Diamond?
Ready.
it's
Burner.
It's clear.
Clear John. You can see I was looking over at Marty, who's having a little bit of an issue with the clear there. So he called clear, and then I just let him know he's good to go, and I see what's happening with a clear to rejoin.
Comes the pull. Little more pull. He's in the pull. Roll out. The diameter.
Ready.
It's
Burner.
Smoke on.
So now we got the diamond roll. All
Up.
4 aircraft rolling as one.
You.
And for me, pretty straightforward maneuver. I'm just going to
Gold.
put a little right rudder in as we're rolling to keep myself aligned underneath the boss. Since I'm lower, I'm kind of carving a more of a circle in the sky than he is.
A little pull. He's in the pole. Smoke off. Okay, on the left. Comes the pole. A little more pull. Well, it turns of the dime. Don't
Ready.
it's
Turner. Unfortunately, while I'm flying in VR, I can't read the live chat, but because we'll be streaming the debrief tonight, if you do have any questions, you can either put them in chat
He's in the
now, and we'll try to scroll through them, or we'll watch the chat while we're going through the debrief video.
dime. Don't
Ready.
it's
Turner. And yeah, try to answer any questions you might have.
smoke on.
Let's use it out to well clear. Those that are familiar with the Blue Angel show
Little pull.
might know that in some years it's half clear, some years it's well clear. Right now the Blues are doing a well clear call.
Ready, hit it.
So we're doing a well clear call.
Smoke off. Coming right.
Take it in. Like Bits had a little moment of uncertainty there and banked away to keep it safe. So I'm just going to hold off on my join until he's in a little closer spot.
Adding a little power.
It can be a very disorienting maneuver with the full deflection roll in there. You sort of come to a stop and have to evaluate what your aircraft is getting up to
He's in the
in
pole.
a very short amount of time.
Rolling out. We're behind the crowds with the diamond dirty leap. Tax lights on.
Ready.
it's
Turner. This is also Bits' first taste tonight of flying in front of a live audience. So always a new, interesting experience.
Stand by the boards. Boards. Coming right.
Now we're getting slowed up, and we'll get dirtied up for the
Little
dirty diamond loop.
pull. A little more pull. Stem of the gear. Gear.
One of those maneuvers
Drop the hooks.
that distinguishes the Blue Angels from
Boards.
other
Up.
formation
Back
aerobatic teams in the air show circuit.
A little pull.
Oh, and there's Blaze saying hello. Well, man, I'm
Comes a
caught
little
looking at
further.
Blaze, and I'm falling behind like a noob. I offset slightly to the left
He's in the pole.
to maintain a good optical illusion that I'm directly between
Rolling out.
the two wingmen's wingtips.
Diamond dirty loop.
Ready.
it's
Turner. When we pull inverted over show center, if I'm directly behind boss, from the show center's position, it'll look like I'm not aligned in the center of the formation.
Burners ready now. Up. we go a little more pull.
Just going to give a little bit of breathing room for the wingmen here. I always want to keep an eye on both of them, and if one of them's not quite as tight as the other, you know, we'll debrief it. But
Burners ready now.
in the moment,
Easing power.
you just sort of you have to
Easing
pull it back
more power.
so that
Snap at
you,
the boards. Easing
don't have a
little
danger
pull.
getting too close. You can see I kicked back over to the center there. That was just to make sure I was in a safe spot relative to
Easing
bits in
the
the left wing.
pull. Adding power. Adding more power. Boards. Up. Coming right. Some of the gear. Up. Hooks. Up.
I actually didn't do my job on the way into that maneuver. It's my responsibility to make sure everybody gets
Easing the pull.
dirtied up, and then on the way out, make sure everybody
Coming
gets
back
cleaned up.
to the left.
Ease it out. I pop up in preparation for the double farvel. I've been experimenting with
flaps auto.
Ready.
Hits.
burner. Gonna check my flaps are in auto mode. I've been experimenting with slightly
Trim
different
saddle.
roll-in. Been having a roll-in that worked just fine, but didn't look good.
Ready.
Hits.
Burner, pumps on. Turn on our inverted fuel pump there. I really should have had it on ahead of time. You don't want to make a call like pumps on and without actually having the pumps on. Making
Ready.
you a liar.
Hits.
Burner.
Boss is set 395. Ready, hit it.
Take it in. Ah, not great. Smoke on. Keep it on the loose-ish side, as the roll-in was not what I wanted. You don't want to come in super aggressive, and you also don't want to be moving a bunch as you're pulling in front of the crowd.
Ready, roll. Roll it out.
Smoke off. 380. Coming left. Comes the pull. One more pull.
That's good.
370. Boss.
Got 4 balls.
Boss, by the crest of the fan brake pumps off.
Ready.
Hits.
Burner, pumps off.
Smoke on. Smoke off.
I'll keep it
Easing
loose
power.
since we're
Easing
about
the
to
pull.
transition.
Rolling out.
Take it in. We'll pre-stage over to the right in anticipation of the right echelon.
Easing power.
This maneuver is tough.
Easing
10 out of 10 times.
More power.
Just gotta have a nice
Coming left.
small
Go right echelon.
amplitude of inputs.
Hits.
Burner. Most important thing is get a good track up, which I actually
Comes the
fell a little behind in that roll-in.
pull.
Those heads as aligned as I can get them.
Bank
And
is
then
set.
start
Burn
creeping
fan brake.
in.
Ready.
Hits.
Burner. Obviously, I can't go any closer in
Smoke.
than bits.
On.
And I'm going to go smoke on and smoke right back off since we're out of position. And we'll just kind of ride the wave here, see if bits settles out. And looks like he's getting settled, so I'll start creeping it in.
Center point. Coming back to the right.
Yeah, it's probably close enough. I'll go smoke on.
Good. I'm
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
smoke. Off. Adding power.
And with that smoke off, we initiate the transition back to diamond, even though we make the call a little on the early side. We got a lot going on at that moment.
Easing the pole.
So we wait a little bit to actually start moving.
Rolling out.
Another
For the
good
crowd, some shade
maneuver
roll.
for the debrief.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
It's cool. Clear for a sec.
Runner, clear rejoin. So
Yeah,
Bit's
I'm
just
gonna
checking out
go
his
left
flight
this one.
controls.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
Bring it across, Marty.
Ready.
So we'll hold off on making the
Comes
move,
the
make sure Bits is good to go.
pole. A little more.
Our usual
pole.
transition there because of the clear in the middle. Well, it looks like we're gathering it back up.
A little further.
No sweat. This portion of the show, from the double Farvel to the line abreast loop, is the most challenging for the Diamond pilots.
Easing the pole. Rolling out. The change of roll.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner. Use a little rudder to creep it back in there.
Smoke. On.
Always looking for head alignment where you can get it.
A little more pull. Okay.
Diamond. Marty with a huge bank there. I'm going to hit him with a debrief comment on that one. Marty cleared enough that he felt the need to call clear. Typically, if you clear during a maneuver, if it's a small clear, you just go smoke off. But if it's going to be a biggish clear, it can warrant calling in, letting everybody know. Clear, John.
Smoke. Off.
And I actually jumped the gun on that clear rejoin
90.
there. I forgot that we had a smoked
Left,
off
left.
call on the way.
Boss.
And on the radio there was Blaze. He's filling in for the solo who couldn't make it tonight. Both our solos were unable to make the practice tonight. They're coming along quite nicely though.
Boss, my left turns to the line abreast loop.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
Nice.
Adding a little power.
Now I stage over on the outer left, getting ready for the line abreast loop.
Easing the pole.
This one is always a nemesis for new pilots when
Rolling
they
out.
join the team.
The line abreast loop. Line abreast.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
Please.
So I'm gonna get a comfortable distance.
Wings are
Early season set and all.
Adding a little power.
Try to
Smoke.
get a view on
Up.
boss wherever I can get it.
Up we go. A little more pull.
Trending a little low and a little aft. There we go.
Vertical 5-5. Easing power. Easing more power. A little pull.
And I lost my bearings a little bit there. Fell aft. That'll be good for debrief. A couple safeties to address there. I'm trending high. Check it down just a little bit. There we go.
Easing the pull. Adding power. Go down, sir.
Bits.
Runner.
Please. Stinger.
Smoke off. Blaze attach.
Okay.
Okay, on the left.
Blaze is a jack of all trades these days. He flew with the team previously
Little.
in a variety of positions. So now he's just like Johnny on the spot. Whatever position is available on any given night,
Podcast and
he's
Bristol break.
right
Boss,
there doing a
8-5.
great job.
Righty.
Fits.
Burner 7-5.
He's in the pole.
Fuel check before the vertical brake.
Roll.
It's safety of flight, but also it's a great way to get feedback on how quickly the show is being executed.
He's over power.
Excuse me. Now we hang a bit
On the
loose
left.
because we're going to
Relic.
transition.
Fits.
Burner.
Little pole.
Believe it or not, one of the trickiest things
little
in
power.
flying this trail is to get the trail to be very straight without anybody
pole.
hanging
Roll
out
out
a little
a
to the
little
left or a little to the right of boss's center line. Which you can imagine can get tricky when you have
He's in the
two
pole.
aircraft between you and the boss.
Rolling out the vertical brake.
Righty.
Fits.
Burner. I'll put in a little left rudder to help ease the rollout. And a little opposite as we come to a
And up
stop.
A little more.
A little bit of a pull mismatch there.
Adding power.
And I pulled a little forward early.
Smoke on.
This transition is into
Right
offset,
brake.
so I don't have to go very far. It's more of a move
Up.
upward than it is
Horizon.
forward.
Boss is pointing at the cart. 250.
Back around, there's Boss
300.
in his
350. Leveling.
leading the bottom of his loop. And you're just kind of watching and looking for the other
400.
jets.
Okay, on the left.
And I do a little oblique split S to get set up for a
390.
rejoin.
Using the pole. Coming back to the right.
And see if I can tally Marty. There he is. Stay out of his airspace.
Little
And-
pole. 390.
I wonder if he's blind to the boss. But odd rejoin from Marty. Definitely a good discussion for debrief. But luckily we got plenty of time before the barrel roll break coming up here. And the crowd's looking at the solos at this point, so got 4 balls.
Boss. One part of the crash at the barrel break.
Righty.
Fits.
Turner. So we join into the offset. Offset is used whenever we're going to break apart
He's in the pole.
so that we have good confidence in our
Rolling out.
clearance from wingtip to
barrel
elevator.
Righty.
Fits.
Burner. If I'm in the right spot, I should see just
Smoke.
the bug on the wingman's aircraft, which is roughly what I have. We got a little bit of a wingy mismatch in distance, just a hair. So I'm going to stick with the wingman that's looser.
Okay.
Do a little cross checks every once in a while when I have a moment.
Easing power. Easing more power. Comes the pole. A little more pull.
Whoop, boss striped it right down the nose down angle. So we got a little shimmy there. And we're definitely pulling hard on this one.
Ready, break. Off. Roll.
Ended up a little show right. Not too bad though. I think boss has been trending to be bottoming show right. So
340 coming left.
yeah, I was gonna say,
360.
I was like, who was that? Now I have an odd task. Gotta make sure
370. We're
I
by the cross. We're
deconflict
across.
with
Boss
bits.
100.
Buddy, 200.
Bits. 300.
Turner 50. And Bit's having a
390.
bit of a
Use a little
non-standard
power.
rejoin. There's Marty. So this one's gonna take a minute. I'm just hanging back. Make sure I
Further
deconflict with
left.
both wingmen.
390.
As you can see, we're near the end of the winter training, but we are not 100% show ready in
Oh,
all
cool.
respects. We still have a couple things that need polish.
He's in the
Got full
pole. Boss. He's in the pole. Rolling out. Throw it across.
Buddy.
Bits.
But
Smoke. On. Ready break.
ready, break. Boss broke us a little low. Get up on our pre-briefed
1
altitude of
mile.
500 feet.
Mark 350.
Close enough. I'm a little fast.
Mile and a half. Mark come left.
But I ended up in the right place. I'll pull a little bit extra G because I'm fast.
Descending.
Make sure I
Accelerating.
keep it safe with Marty. And we look ahead. Make sure we're pulling onto the line nice and smoothly.
Mile and a half. Mark
Turn on
370.
hat mode, which is height above terrain. It's like a radar
1 mile.
altimeter.
Mark 370.
Okay, I'm a fast.
Half a mile. Mark 370.
And I'm going to beat him to show center for sure.
Center point. Smoke off. Coming left.
Since I had to slow way down, I'm going to plug the right burner in temporarily. And we're looking ahead, making sure that we're going to have a nice,
Roll
safe
out.
intercept with the boss. And I had to pull quite a bit. Hopefully Marty can stick with that.
360. Coming right.
Apologies to Marty. Go get him, I got the airspace high.
You got it.
A little pull. 380 using power. Easing more power.
I try to make that that final pull release and roll out as smooth as I can, but
Easing the
sometimes you just
pull.
get a little behind the jet and you're screaming on to the
Rolling out.
pointing at the comm cart,
360.
and you just have to kind of
Easy
make a
power.
little bit of a stout rollout.
Easing more power.
That flow boss.
Boss, we're in front of the crowds and the burner 270.
Buddy.
Bits.
Burner.
Stand by the boards. Boards. Coming right. A little pull.
Up next, we got the burner 270, so we'll get nice and slow. Point at the crowd and then turn away at the last second and light
Easing
up the burners.
pull.
Nice and loud.
Rolling out.
Very
The
impressive in
burner
real life.
Buddy.
Bits.
Burner. Not quite as impressive in a simulator, but still a tricky maneuver.
Smoke.
If anybody
On.
out there in chat flies formation aerobatics, you'll know how difficult it can be to hold formation when you light the burners, not just because you get a big kick of thrust all at once, but also you're accelerating
Boards.
rapidly.
Up. Coming left. So, okay.
Do a little right rudder to stay under boss's center
Burners
line as
ready
we roll.
now. A little pull. A little more pull.
And I was
Burner's ready
pretty happy
now.
with that burner
Easy
engagement.
power.
Not as happy with my burner disengagement there.
Easy.
Really gotta be
Forward
careful, and I'm gonna kick it over to the right. One for optical, and another is I lost sight on the left wingman there, so keep it safe. Stick close to the wingman I can see. I always move over to the right so that I
Ease in the
appear to be directly behind the boss from show center.
Rolling out.
Normally that move over to the right is supposed to be very slow so that you can't
Smoke.
tell from
Oh.
show center that we did anything.
380.
Oh, and I have a tough, ease it out, tough job ahead of me. With only one solo tonight, it's my job to fly the outer wing position for the Delta sequence. So we'll see which side Blaze goes to. Guessing he'll take the
comma.
left, and I'll go over to the right.
Left 5, boss.
Boss, by the cross of the Delta roll, boss 6-5.
It's
Burner.
6-1.
A little pull.
That's actually kind of like a safety of flight on our part here, in that we completely forgot to brief which side Blaze was going to fly on for the Delta sequence. I got a normal procedure. He's,
Five
I'm
boss.
guessing,
Boss.
mimicking. Yep, he's over on the left, so I'll go over to the right. Normally, yeah, if we have single solo, it'll be the 5 profile.
He's in the
Single
pull.
solo that gets flown.
Rolling out. The Delta roll.
Ready.
it's
Burner.
Nice.
I'm riding a little high, a little flat.
Smoke. Up. Up we go. A little more pull. Pull. A little pull. Easing a little pull. Come left.
So not
Using
the
a little
best right solo profile in the Delta roll there, but I'll take it.
Comes the pull. A little more pull.
Out of position again, so you might have heard the click.
Well, it turns at the
That's my smoke
early.
going on and off.
it's
Burner.
Nice.
Smoke. Off.
Shift hit.
And because there's 5 of us, and one of the 5 is
Ease
me in the slot, we go to a stinger formation here and fly
Rolling.
standard fleur-de-lis for the diamond.
The fleur-de-lis.
Ready.
it's
Burner.
Nice.
Try to fly as smooth on the pitch as I can. I got Blaze underneath me in a trail formation.
Adding a little power. And up we go. A little more pull. Smoke. On. Ready, break.
Ready, roll! Take it in.
Vertical. 7 of them.
Left the burners in just a
Easy
little
power.
too long there. keep it-
Using more power.
Keep it loose. Keeping an eye out for
A little
bits.
pull.
There he is. Diamond.
He's in a little pull. He's in the pull.
Seems like boss scooped us just a little bit. Ended up probably a little high and descending. Something we could talk about with the boss.
Clear.
A little pull.
Hey, John.
Easy little pull. Coming back to the right. Adding power.
So tonight, I'm going to fly the loop break
Power.
cross in the correct manner when there's only one solo,
Correct
which
one.
is
Smoke off.
I'll
360.
fly on the outer right wing, but I will still brake
And
on
a
the
lot
four
more
line.
pull. A little more pull.
Go 5 miles.
Boss. All right, turns to the Delta Loop Break Cross. Boss 100, 200.
2400.
It's 600.
Burner 200.
Place 400.
Easing the pull. Rolling out.
Good 5 miles.
Boss. And coming easy back to the left. I need a little
I say all these things like, oh yeah, we're going to have to debrief this, debrief that. I'll be lucky if I remember a third of the things
Roll
that I noted in flight. That's why we always watch the debrief tape.
Help
remind us of what went down.
A little more.
Needs work.
Oh.
I'm already getting flat
Circle,
in the
5
formation set, so I can't see the boss.
Easing
I'll just
power.
use the force for a little bit.
Easing more.
And you know, I'm already smooth
power.
enough, I can just fly, use him as a reference.
Center point. Ready, break. Smoke. Off. Leveling. 1 mile. Mark 380.
Alright. Speed's alright,
Mile and a
altitude's
half.
alright.
Mark 380.
And a little ahead.
2
And
miles.
a little
Mark
offset from the
380.
line. Got the show
2.5
page down there on my
miles.
left DDI.
Mark. Smoke. On.
Somehow got way ahead
Up
even though I'm
we
below speed.
go. Adding power. Vertical 45 250. Horizon 72220. Using power. Using the pull. Ready, roll, hat. 3 miles. Mark. Level.
So I beat boss
2.5
through that whole
miles.
sequence, but that's
Mark
okay.
400. 2 miles. Mark 400.
On time.
Mile and a half. Mark 400.
I'm a little behind
1
now, 'cause I
mile,
wasn't at
Mark
speed,
400.
but close enough.
Half a mile. Mark.
Yeah, there we go. And I'm
Center
low.
point. Smoke. Off.
Yeah, not too bad. I'll take it.
Coming left. 390.
I'm going to try a little bit more
A little pull.
of an angled offset to the formation than what Blaze is using. I can always reverse back to the right, but I'm going to try to
Easy little
intercept
pull.
them at a
Rolling out the bank. 380.
big offset or a big oblique angle, so that yeah, I'm going to have to S-turn it a little bit. That's all right. And I'll just go direct to the
370.
right wing position. You want to get established on the bearing line first,
Easing power.
and then creep it in along the
Easing more
bearing
power.
line.
Got
Got
5
five
miles.
balls. My bad.
Boss. Further cross. The Delta breakout.
Ready.
It's
Okay.
Nice.
I should have had faith that Blaze was going to
Oh,
call that you got
further
5
left.
boss, I just was like, well, I'm last into the formation and I'm in the 6th position. It was like instinct to call that he had 5, but Blaze was on top of it.
He's in the pole. Rolling out. The Delta breakout.
Ready.
Bits.
Runner.
Place.
Smoke. On. A little pole. Ready, break. Smoke. Off. Push over. $340. $370 coming right. $380, a little pull.
For anybody out there that wants to work on your
He's a little power.
formation rejoins, it's never a bad idea to try to get your bearing line established early, which is just basically
380.
you're looking down the wing of the aircraft you're joining on, or whatever the particular fore-aft reference that
Yeah,
you're
that's
aiming
nice.
for happens to
Boss, when a right turns at the left, pitch a break runway 22.
Ready.
Bits.
be. Runner.
Place.
Smoke. On.
And then you come in on that bearing line. That keeps it nice and safe for everybody in the formation, because you're sort of
He's
just
a little pull.
tightening up from
Wow.
a very loose distance the formation shape, rather than trying to
He's in the
sneak in from the back and
pull.
just be looking directly ahead of you. It can feel like it's easier, but once you get the hang of it,
Wow.
the
The
bearing
left pitch
line
over right,
rejoin.
Ready, let pick up.
Bits.
Runner.
Place.
Yeah, once you get the hang of the bearing line rejoin, it is a lot more repeatable, safe, and fun. Never forget the
Center
fun
point.
factor.
Boss breaking.
Ready, break.
Bits breaking.
Runner breaking.
Place back.
Smoke. Off. Stand with gear flaps. Gear flaps.
All right.
Boss, gear flaps to
And
go.
that is the show.
Ready, gear flaps hook up.
Bits. Gear flaps to go.
Runner, get flaps hook up.
Place your flaps up.
Check 3 in the green. The stagger is right. 220, Marty.
20 bits.
210 burger.
220, Blaze.
210.
As I
200,
mentioned earlier in the flight,
200 bits.
200 burger.
210, Blaze. Stick around after we land. We're going to
Why,
continue the
buddy?
stream.
190 bits.
200 burger.
210, Blaze. We're going to
205.
continue the stream, and we're going to stream our
160, Marty.
debriefing, so you'll be able to watch this
70
show again in
190
replay.
burger.
190, Blaze.
95.
150, Marty. Slight overshoot.
150 bits.
180 burner.
185, Blaze. I'd
185.
also like to
140
take a
overweight,
quick
Marty.
moment and acknowledge the
140
loss we
overweight,
had
Blaze.
today.
160 burner.
170, Blaze.
170.
Big loss for the aerobatic community and the airshow community.
140 all the way,
Unfortunately,
brother.
160, Blaze. Rob Holland was
165.
killed during an accident on landing today, and just want to 140 all the way, Blaze.
150.
Want to say, on behalf of the virtual Blue Angels and the whole airshow community,
Boss, okay.
just a tremendous
Yeah, yeah.
loss, and we all mourn
Right,
at his
okay.
passing. I'm probably coming in a little too tight here as far as the spacing that we're looking for between
Bits is
each
okay.
plane landing. Do you want to maintain consistent pace? I think that maybe ended up all right. Get down, put the flaps to half, check the brakes, and then clear onto the cold side. With the blues, there's 2 cold sides either side of the runway, and then the hot lane is in the middle.
That's okay.
Blaze, check smoke. Aha.
It's on
Blaze
purpose.
dusting out the crowd.
Okay, boss.
Boss. Landing checks.
Buddy.
Bits.
Burner.
This.
Check your smoke off. Check your flaps auto. Test light off. Fix your trim saver seat.
Buddy.
Bits.
Burner.
This.
I fumbled both my landing
Good
light
fun,
and my
guys.
flaps there.
Yeah, real good fun, guys.
Nice shot.
Yeah, good stuff. Alright, stand by, and we'll get you switched over to Campbell's live stream, and we will stream the debrief for you. Thanks for flying along with us tonight, and we'll see you in the debrief. Good evening once again, everyone. Yeah, we got the whole team on comms now. We just went through our quick safeties, one apiece, just to get it out of the way. It's our normal procedure. So now we're watching back the replay, and we'll go through our foibles. We call them safeties. You know, there's some of them are safety of flight, some of them are just the technique wasn't quite right, and what we're gonna do to fix them. Yeah, I tried to do the little pull forward. I think I initiated it too early once again. There's a little bit of movement from Marty as we were getting in close. Forward. So I think, yeah, you can't tell the optical anyway. We're like right on the comm cart. I had to back that camera up. Like I said during the flight chat, if you have any questions, I don't think I see any in the chat at the moment, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. And yes, we are all happy to be here.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Blaze doing his thing, single solo,
Showing off.
right? That roll felt good tonight, boss.
Very good, very good. Marty was saying earlier, some of these rollouts tonight didn't feel quite as good as they did, but heading up for the maneuver.
Yeah, I think you had maybe a little more. You fell into sort of like gaining altitude, losing altitude modes a couple times.
Ball's looking really good here for the car.
Yeah, that show center camera, it helps us out so much. Anybody that's in the chat that was watching the first person stream, you can definitely see the difference in how much motion you can see from the ground versus how much you can see in the cockpit. And if you watch onboards of the real team, it's a similar effect. They're obviously a lot more locked up in their movement than we are. You know, their winter training is a lot more flying in a much shorter amount of time than we're able to get done. So we have a little bit of a slower ramp, but we try to get to a close facsimile by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, and I guess I got whipped on the roll for the echelon to diamond. I ended up not being able to catch the stop point. It just completely threw me out. So
Yeah. And then speaking of, bits definitely take more of a beat as you finish rolling here. If you feel like you need to, try to get into the habit of using the rudder to get away, not the ailerons.
Copy. Yeah, I'll take a safety here. I'll leave the power up on the exit and get a head of steam there on boss and get a cute kind of clear off there. And but the timing was a lot better this time. It looked like so. At least improved on that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, obviously, if you have to bank away, it's better to do that than to have a touch, right? So, but yeah, try to recognize it and use that rudder.
Roger.
I'm gonna start using the column 9 button for the smoke off coming right because the way my throttle's set up and my button is, it's kind of hard to smoke off and hold the push a talk key. So I'm gonna switch over to the other button so souls will get those comms, but it'll just make it more fluid for us.
Yeah, sounds good. As long as, I mean, there's no solos here to object, right? So you can do what you want.
There we go. Could have also had a little bit more G in that exit if they were on roll too. That would have got here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, remember, we're pretty loose, and then we're off camera very quickly after that, so you can definitely keep the poll coming.
You got it.
Spurner engagement felt really good. I think all
Yeah.
of them. I felt pretty good tonight with the sync. Boss, keep doing what you're doing.
Rod sounds good. Once we get comfortable with this for a while, we'll bring back the grill.
Yeah, little embellishment.
Nice bits.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I had a little moment over the top as the burners came out, but you managed to recover it nicely. I got a little nervous for a second and just kind of eased it over to the right a bit, but you were restabilized pretty quickly.
Copy.
Reckless say, yeah, good eye. We're not doing smoke on the dirty loop this year, so we're also not doing smoke on the dirty loop this year. We try to keep our replication as tight as possible year to year, and every team does things a little differently. You know, just little things here. The show is the same, but it's not really
Blaze does such a good job on that, man.
Yeah, he needs to make like a tutorial video.
Yeah. Like every time I see Blaze do it, I go, and that's I need to see that all the time.
Yeah, Blaze, if you're watching this replay, Blaze had to leave early to go to bed, so he's not in the chat to debrief. But if you're watching the replay, make that tutorial video. This is my inglorious double Farvel roll-in. This was the safety that I took in the start of the debrief before we brought comms in on the stream. Just kind of overthought it, but as far as the tech of what happened, I overpopped and overpushed in the inverted. And I probably still had the waggling nose spike, which is sort of what I'm trying to get rid of, but I think I had like the worst of all worlds there.
That's not bad.
Yeah, the roll-in actually didn't look as bad as it felt. It was more, I guess, that I pushed as I was getting set. Floating up. Tight to the line.
Tight to
Or
the
high.
line.
Yeah,
No,
was it high or tight to the line?
Yeah, tight to the line. On altitude for this one, which is good. Getting better on that. Just need to make sure that I roll out at the right time there.
Yeah. Marty, I mean, it looked like you were full altitude with the boss for most of that roll away. You might see about getting above. Yeah, a little bit above him.
Yeah. Although the rejoin mate was so much easier though.
Right? Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm right there.
So yeah, again, bitch, just keep doing what you're doing. You're losing that 300 feet.
Roger that, boss.
Yeah, once we get really comfy, we might, have boss throw in a call if he knows he's going to be tight, and we can make those little adjustments. But for right now, just hold the paint and leave it to boss to hit the marks.
I'll take a safety here. On the fan brake, not being comfortable in position for you, Burner, especially. I think I'll be late to get the symmetry, and it won't be stable enough. So I'll keep working on that. And I think it starts with back at the start and just not getting high enough here. Something I can work towards.
Yep. No, I mean, I saw about the same. I even had trouble kind of keeping up with the bank in. I got a little flat as well. Just remember to keep it loose until that bank is finished, and we're set at that angle, so that you can have a calm jet first, and then you can be working it in for the whole, darn maneuver. Really, you could like be just a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. As long as you're stable, we can make that work. It's when you're in the fighting mode that it becomes like, well, I'm just kind of hanging out here until things calm down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It happens fast, but you have to like make yourself not be in a hurry. It's one of those things. So to the chat, we didn't give away a backseat ride tonight, but we're hoping to continue the streams as we go forward. And once we get into the swing of it, we'll start giving away the backseat rides again. So if you'd like to ride with us, tune in next week. We will probably stream again next Thursday, and we'll see about auctioning off a backseat ride.
Again, I'll take a safety on it being pointed at the card here, and it seems like every time we about to start this roll, it starts prematurely. So I need to have good discipline, stick discipline going into this. Make sure my grab doesn't start moving, guys.
Yeah, Raj. This one especially, right? We could deal with it in a diamond roll, but like this in the delta, you gotta really let us sync up on your comm.
Absolutely.
Marty already talked about this one earlier in the debrief, but probably a little too aggressive. Try to really get that left rudder in early. Like get that motion over to the right wing, Marty, so that you can have left rudder in to be like slowing yourself into the position the whole way, rather than having to do a hard stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like I've always played with the rudder, but in that maneuver, it's if you are not match boss and barely moving out of the gate, like if you don't start it right, it's hard to slow it down.
Yeah, I feel
That
that.
start point, it's almost like it almost feels like I need more pull, from boss, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to get a hang of it. It definitely is gonna be one of those where like you're going from a push or a very light pull to like a lot of pull once you get out on that opposite wing. Plus your momentum is just everything about that maneuver is trying to like fling you out, to infinity off to the right.
I'll take another safety here. Getting sucked and low through the first half of the maneuver. I think I finally get the spacing and the alignment by the back half of the maneuver, but the entry in the first half definitely not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, you stayed in your box. I had a couple moments where I was sort of looking extra over my shoulder, but I never felt like I was in danger, so that part's good. I'd say that maybe the next thing to try out is like once you're pulled forward into the position, try to calm everything down on the controls, and then just wait and watch, so that it's like I'm gonna pull and whatever happens, but I'm not gonna second guess where my wings are at. I'm gonna pull, and as I start to pull, I'm gonna see where my wings are at, because as you load the jet up, if you have a little bank this way or that way, it'll start to show itself, and then I'll make the correction. But I'm not gonna be fighting to try to get perfect wings before the pull. Just like get the jet calm, as far as like fore aft, up down, just try to get that as settled in as you can, and then just when it's time to pull, just pull, and then look for what the next correction needs to be.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Take a safety on this vertical brake. Again, off angle. We're 150 feet high going into it. So I have not put the work in mind for what's gonna work at the time. It's kind of wings line up. So we need to try and get that dialed in. Be consistent here.
I'm feeling harassed at the bottom of that trail.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to send an email to HR about this bits.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get called to the principal's office.
The angle looks pretty good. Both of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe just slightly different on how you get to that final pull, like a little more aggressive from Bits.
Faster than
yeah, like he's getting to it more aggressively than you are. And then Marty, this rejoin was a little awkward. I had to kind of hang back and keep you in sight. Did you get, I guess, flat early? So you had, or you did, I guess maybe you just didn't funnel on the down line?
I was definitely putting it downhill longer than I probably should have. Normally I'd put boss like at the top of my canopy bow, and tonight he was just below it. So that's the difference I think on that.
Yeah, it looked like when you finally got to level, you just had a lot of space to make up, in that turnaround. I mean, like I said during the live stream, it's like we got a lot of time, so it's not a huge rush. Whatever distance you knock off on the down line, as we're going downhill, while we're slow, is that much less distance you got to make up while we're trucking fast and flat.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna hold myself up at the top a little longer before I really come downhill on that rejoin.
Yeah.
Force the funnel downhill instead of
right.
more of a flat rejoin.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a hangout factor in the turnaround timing, right?
Yeah, because you want to be like tracking boss down, but you still want him below you, not level with you.
Still a little G'd up on the end of this one. The 3.5 G's here. Need to get that a little bit more pull in sooner, or bump the power a little quicker. That alpha, I was looking for, I never. 9. That's climbing up to 8, 8.2, and then back down. Need to make sure I get that 9 top here.
Yeah, it wasn't dicey, but we definitely were feeling it by the bottom.
I was happy you called ready break.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell you're.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he broke like half a potato before.
Yeah.
Bids.
Enough. Did break.
And then a little bit of a weird rejoin from you here, Bits. I mean, try to get, like I said, same thing that I just said to Marty, like try to get close to him while we're slow. And if that means that you're going to do a pretty hard bank away, you know, like you make the S turn, you're headed towards boss. If you have to make a hard correction, you know, you can do that. You want to try not to lose sight of boss, but as long as you're below him, you should be okay. You know, like I am deconflicting with you. As long as you don't end up on boss's right side, you can kind of do what you need, you know, to stop that closure aggressively.
Yeah, I really did feel like we were joining up. But that makes sense.
Yeah. Loves to be in there, keep fighting.
You got it.
Push that power up if you need to, and don't do too much so you whip yourself into the spot.
Copy.
And take safety on not being right on the line there, and we were also like 140 feet off. So I need to work the crowd parameters for these.
Yeah, maybe put a big old marker out there for a little while, you know, just to have something you can't miss, and then once you get more comfy, you can take it away.
Got it.
So Marty, I'd started a little fast, so I pulled a little bit more G in the first turnaround, not the second. For the cross, I'm slow, so push it up. It was about 373 for most of the turn, and then as we got around the corner, it accelerated like 410, I want to say, by the rollout. Marty, was that doable?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was right with you. So the 3/4 of the way through the back end.
Okay, good.
This is getting
Whoa.
crazy.
Careful with that. Like whenever you can squeeze down. Oh, I forgot my smoke. I wonder how long that lasts.
I didn't see it.
For the crowd, I took a pretty good safety there for real late timing, and I'm gonna result from a pull in to show line is going to be way too hard, and I'll lose a lot of energy that I can't make up for that timing. That's how I need to fix it next time.
Yeah, roger that. And Reckless in the chat, you are correct. There was a first practice with the inverted tuckover roll this week, so it's on our radar. We'll try to get it in. It's up to the solos, basically. If it doesn't look good, then we're not going to do it, you know? And it's so much, like already the tuckover roll is a very difficult maneuver. Doing it inverted is like beast mode. So stay tuned. Hopefully it's something that we can demo for you all this year. Hopefully it's something that the real blues stick with, and that wasn't a one-off. It seemed like it was a little rough, but hey, it was their first attempt at it. They've been flying the regular right side up tuckover roll really well so far this year, so I totally understand why they're pushing the envelope with the inverted double tuck. Yeah, hopefully they stick with it. It's throughout this show.
Take a big safety on this, guys, in the burner 270 exit of afterburner. I'll miss it on timing. Just didn't quite catch it in time, and I'll have to clear low and then back in.
Copy. Yeah, I had a little bit of a moment, so I just kind of aggressively checked over to the right. I mean, I'm always going over to the right anyway, but I try to make it slow and smooth, and this one was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, I think exercises we could do bits to build confidence in your bank angle. Maybe just doing that, like if you fly this Sunday or just the next non-full show flight, we'll just put you in line abreast and you'll just fly in line abreast for like an hour straight. Because I think confidence in what your wing angle is like the next piece in the puzzle of your flying.
Copy. Yeah. Boss had a good suggestion too prior to the maneuver, especially the line of rest loop, was to look forward and just see and trust that, and be able to see in the HUD that your wings are level first.
Yeah.
That seemed to help a little bit too.
Yeah, like you can at least do like a sort of a gut check, you know, of like, all right, this feels level, and then you just sneak a peek. Yes, indeed, it is level. And then as you get more confidence, you won't need to check that HUD, but for sure, like at the beginning, especially the ladder breast loop, it's not a bad idea. I get a little sucked low in the roll here.
What side were you on?
I'm on your right side.
Oh.
Yeah, right there, smoke off, low. I get back to what I was looking for just before the end. Marty did a good platform. Had a couple moments in the roll and in the pull up for the loop break cross where you got a little flat
Yeah.
in the delta.
On the
Yeah.
back end. I noticed the back end
Yeah.
ones.
So, but you were smooth, so I was just like, well, just flying off Marty. You know, I was like, it wasn't the end of the world, but yeah, definitely adds to the challenge of it.
Well, I try to keep it as smooth as I humanly possibly can, so that if there are those minor deviations, you guys can fly on.
Yeah.
As if I'm boss. That's kind of where I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and bits. That's good head to space to be in when you have somebody outside of you. Is like, I don't have to be paint perfect on the sight picture. It's more important that any corrections I make are like slow and smooth, so that they can fly off of you.
Roger that.
Yeah, try not to be so rigid about your paint line.
Okay.
Just try to be really close to where you want to be, and then just almost put yourself in autopilot mode. Just fly comfortably.
He was getting pretty close, bits. I think you're putting all the pieces together. You might have just had a little stagnation mid rejoin, and then you had to play catch up, but it was looking good.
Cool, thanks. I know what happened here. That mapping I did for having single throttle to emulate split throttle, I realized that it kicked out, so I had to go full burner, and that's why I stagnated there for a minute. So I'll take a safety on using smoke on that. So I got to figure out what the mapping is and just make sure prior to the practice to show that it's indeed working.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Or if you do it really fast when we're on the ground with the brakes fully held. And yeah, Reckless, for sure, if they ever bring back the tub, I'll be ecstatic. The tub is the cooler maneuver, it's more fun to fly, and we all dislike the Burner 270. Not to watch, it's cool to see, but to fly it is really tricky.
We overshot the line here, and that's because on the exit of the fleur-de-lis, we were just really high tonight.
Yeah,
that left
we
turn.
scooped that. I even said that on stream. I'm like, whoa, we really scooped this thing.
And yeah, as a result, I just didn't get far enough over to where I needed to be before making that right turn back. I looked up and I was like, oh, I have to stand on it here. Let's stand on.
But it was a nice, smooth, easy to stay with you, boss, on that correction.
I flew what I believe is the correct procedure for this filling for the silver, which is to still break the floor line. I mean, I know I've seen that done at shows with 5 planes, so unless we're really trying to work on crosses or something, if I'm in this position in the future, this is what I'm going to do. It's a little funky. I ended up sort of offset from the show line a bit, but still works. Yeah, you can't even tell really from
Yeah,
show
that's
center.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Maybe 20 feet right there.
Yeah, we ended up in a good spot. I again am not getting synced up with you, boss, on the half Cuban
Really?
itself. Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting to 3Gs too fast, or if I just happen to have a lower throttle setting so that I'm pulling up to the 8 alpha quicker or what, but I've been, yeah, beat you to vertical and yeah, beat you down on the backside. I'm gonna try just, I don't know, just maybe keeping a little blip of throttle above the, keep the velocity carriage just a little higher. I don't know.
Raj, I mean, I will say I've been getting to 3Gs kind of slow. What we could be doing out there.
Yeah, maybe hit a little touch more aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2200 feet actually felt a lot better tonight.
Agreed. How'd everybody else feel with 2200 pullout?
Yeah, it's good. Liked it.
That felt good.
Yeah, it's like aggressive but not suicidal. It's a nice little mix.
A couple hits there.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that was probably one of my best timings and crosses of the season so far. I felt really good with that one. Had to do a little bit of a climb right near the end to make sure the optical was correct. So I'll try to fix that. But as far as you were calling the numbers, and I was just like right on there, worked out well. Yeah, I like this pre-briefed pull-out altitude. I think that's gonna increase our consistency quite a bit. Take a safety. I probably rolled away from the formation a little too aggressively here on the outboard right, and then climbed. Go ahead, Bits.
Yeah, just reiterating that I took the safety for the late there again, which is a 10 for the crossing, a trend for the crossings this evening. And it results from a light pull in the half Cuban at the top. Just can't make it up, and I don't have the timing in my scan like I should from the 2 mile in mark looking at boss.
Copy. Yeah, look how fast I rolled away there. That was like, I was at 90 before Marty even started moving away from the boss. Get me out of here.
Rejoin felt really good tonight here.
Mm-hmm. Concur. I was able to like come in on boss's bearing line. That was your bearing line. It was looking good.
I'm still liking the exit maneuver and the setup for the pitch up break better the way I've been doing it. Holding that 60 degrees, I think, next with 50. Because we're not too far off the line, but we're still coming in tight and crooked. Out. It works because I've been shooting for that 370 coming right at a mile. Keep that up. Just this turn. Try to get this dialed in.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, there was like, yeah, I kind of just, yeah, no, it felt good. I'm trying to think back, like if there was anything really out of place, but
It's crooked.
yeah, we can't tell as long as it's not too crooked.
Oh man. I'll take a safety on this one. My gear didn't come down until I was at the 90. I'm like, why is it taking so long to slow down? I was
That'll do it.
I was like popping the boards. I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh.
I also take a safety on the pitch up break, boss. I'll pull, try to achieve the 10 degrees, but I just will never quite get there. And out of the roll, I'll be 150 feet low.
I was actually a little low too. I had to climb. I leveled out.
Raj.
Get the stopwatch out here. For those watching along at home, we're going for a 13-second interval on our landings. So when we get to this portion of the flight, one of us breaks out the stopwatch and we get instant feedback on how we did. It's always a moving target of, making adjustments. As we progress through the year, we'll get better and better at it. But if anybody's flown a carrier approach in DCS, you can see, you know how it can be kind of tricky just flying the approach itself on good parameters, and we're trying to do that, as a string of pearls. So it can be a lot to dial in.
Marty might be at 13 seconds.
Nah, way over.
Way over 15 seconds.
Yeah, I got 16.9. It's 12.1. I'm probably going to be tight. It felt tight. Not long. 14.5. Blaze turning from Blue Angels aircraft to airshow jet truck. Is the smoke still on? I can't say anything. I had the smoke on all the way up to the from the low brake to the burner 270. So, and then Blaze, it was 14.9 if you're watching the replay, Blaze. So a little stretched overall tonight. Bits, you get the gold medal. You were closest to the mark.
Finally.
So everybody watching along at home, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, we have had a little bit of an absence on our streams, but we're going to try to pick them back up. So if you enjoyed watching tonight, you can go to virtualblueangels.com. And there's info to get on our Discord if you want to ask us any questions. And the Discord will give alerts every time that our YouTube live stream goes up, so you can get a buzz when it's time to watch a live stream. And as I said in the cockpit, on behalf of the Virtual Blue Angels, we just want to extend our deepest sympathies to the family of Rob Holland. We lost a great air show performer and pilot today, and just really terrible. So our condolences to everyone involved on behalf of the Virtual Blue Angels.
Fly good. What's up?
That's the one.
Yes, sir.